can't have a 5 good minutes in a 60-minute game.
No, and
keep expecting to win.
You also can't play terrified against a team that every time you've won in this series, it's because you're not afraid of them and you can do pressure with pressure. And it's like, you learned this in game 1, you learned this in game 3, you learned it in game 5. And I remember the first period where Kevin Bieksa is like, man, it looks like they're giving their opponents a bit too much credit. And the second they changed that, they were lights out against them. And it's like, why haven't you figured that out? Like, what are you afraid of? Like, Connor McDavid's hurt. Yeah, there's Leon and McDavid, but like, have the guts to pressure to the an offensive opportunity. Don't just sit there and dump it in and change because it's the long con. And hell, they almost tied it up, but they didn't. So the long con didn't work.
Yeah, and the thing is that they give you this fugazi thing where it's like, well, the game was closer than we thought. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Like it's just, this game was totally different if you just, you do get, we keep saying it, you get pucks on net, man. And yeah, maybe some of them are floaters. Some of them are perimeter shots, but you're not talking about prime Martin Brodeur, prime Dominic Hasek.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even talking about Grant Fuhr. Literally, the Oilers organization and their fans, their number one fear was, oh God, we have to play Stuart Skinner, or oh God, they've chosen to play Stuart Skinner.
Yeah,
and you did not attack that weakness. I'm not talking about 40 shots. I understand that in a full understanding, but yeah, it's just wild. And so we looking into what's going to happen, right, Ryan, with in terms of passengers. We talked about that. There are 9 UFAs, 2 RFAs, and 20 if you take Pullman's, I believe, Pullman's LTIR with 2.5, which insane that we're still talking about Tucker Pullman, Jim Benning. Just wow. You're looking at $27 million in cap space.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to throw this to you because I'm really curious what your answer to this would be. If they didn't lose game 6 and 7 the way that they did, like if it was more like, okay, they actually put in the effort and they just got really, but the way they lost these last 2 games, does that give you any change in terms of, the conversation was before, oh, we bring Myers back. Oh, we maybe Ian Cole. Oh, do we give Lindholm a contract like this? Does that change where you kind of look in the passenger side and say, okay, this is a more deeper house cleaning. This is a more of a with the opportunity they have with OEL's buyout, recapture happening, and whatever. I don't know where your vibes are with that, Ryan.
I don't know, and
yeah. It's tough to throw that in terms of a future facing thing. I didn't want to do that, but in terms of your feeling for the last 2 games.
It's because again, if they lost game 6 and game 7 in complete 60-minute efforts, you would you would look at their roster and be like, there's a lot that needs to be preserved going forward. But when you see this type of 5-minute guns blazing approach to hockey that's not sustainable in the playoffs or the regular season, and it stinks like shit when it doesn't work in the postseason, you think that there's a lot of good things on this team, and there's a lot of, hey, what's our other sweetener to get one or two of these guys out of here? And it's a challenge to hang your hat on the positives of this series and this run when the negatives are so glaring.